Hello guys, so we will now implement one of the last feature for the following section. For example, when we click here, we want to unfollow him. And when we click again for the unfollowed user, then we want to start following this user. Okay, so for that purpose, we'll go to the main storyboard and we'll find our guest view controller. That is the one. We'll select the follow button. We'll call assistant editor. Then we will go here automatic to the guest view controller. I'll scroll it down right after clicked friend button clicked right after this function, or even before than this function, up to you guys. Or if you want to follow the chronology, you can make it inserted actually after the friend button is clicked. Okay, I will go down. Then we'll have a show. This function is the show action sheet. So right after show action sheet, I'll hold Ctrl Left mouse click, drag it here at the end of this class, and I will name it follow button underscore clicked, and this is of type action connection. So this function sends requests to the server to follow or unfollow the user. Okay, very good. So we've created the action connection, then we're going to the guest view controller right directly. And here in the guest view controller right at the bottom here, we will implement the logic. So here, this sender, I'll replace it with the follow button of type UI button, for example. Okay, excellent. So here, first of all, I'd like to write the if statement. If is followed as nil or is just integer. So then means to follow. So this scenario means start following the user if currently is not followed. Okay, and that else statement means stop following the user if currently is followed. If the user is followed. Okay, so for that one, definitely first of all we need to update the status of is followed. So we'll write here is followed will be equals to empty integer, which means cast trigger as no more the user is followed. Then we will update the button, update follow button with the icon unfollow.png with the title follow and with the color dark gray color. Okay, so that one is update appearance of the button. Very good. So then we will send a request. We'll write update friendship request with the action follow, where the user ID will be current user ID, current user, then question mark, then in the square brackets ID. And the friend ID will be here, actually it's not friend, it will be followed ID. This will be the user that we want to follow. It is just self.id. Okay, so to make it clear here, I'll write let current user underscore ID equals to current user question mark, then in the square brackets ID. Else we will write to return it. ID of the current user. And then we will try to access, let's say, let follow ID, the user which we want to follow. Yeah, I forgot here to write guard let. Okay, so then we'll write let follow underscore ID equals to self.id. So ID of the user which we came to the guest. ID of the user to follow, ID of the user to follow, which we want to follow. Okay, so then when we update friendship request, here user ID, we will write current user ID and friend ID will be follow ID. Okay, very good. Send request to the server. Excellent. So when we stop following this, oops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. Cast trigger as started as user started to follow follow the guest or the follow we went to guest for. Okay, this is followed. We'll keep it just integer. And here another way around. Here we'll write is followed equals integer. So here we're cast following or cast trigger as user stopped following the guest. Okay, then we want to update appearance of the button. We'll write here update. Oops, sorry. Update the button, which will be follow button. Icon will be follow.png. Title will be, let's say, following. Color will be helper, open and close round brackets, dot Facebook color, and then we'll send a request to the server. Okay, guys, 1 minute. Here must be not follow, here must be following, and here we'll follow.png and following. This is how it should be, and the icon will be unfollow, and the title will write follow. Here the color will be Facebook brand color, and in the lower here it will be dark gray color. Okay, let's now send a request to the server. We'll write update friendship request with the action unfollow. User ID will be current user's ID. Friend ID will be follow ID, the one which we want to start follow. Okay, so one more thing, what I would like to do is instead of here showing, let's say followed, I would like to show following. Followed. Here we'll write following. Okay, very good. So we can now build and run, and we can see the results. Okay, since we made a complex changes, it's building it. Okay, here we go. So I'll search for someone, let's say Bradley Cooper. I'll start following him. Excellent. So let's check out in the database that we start following him. User ID, current user is the follow ID, is still following Bradley Cooper. So we'll have to find out why. Okay, so in the follows, there are no changes. We'll have to track our database. How does it go? Okay, yeah, the thing is that here it should not, we can keep it actually the friend ID, guys. We can keep it as the friend ID, the one who we're following, since it is always reviews this. Our PHP development environment. And here in the friends.php, And here in database for us as better advised, here follow ID, we will change it to the friend underscore ID. And here, when we assign it to the variable, we'll change it to the friend underscore ID. And then we will scroll up. Then we have here follow ID, we'll change it to the friend ID. This is the key. Nonetheless, further we'll be using follow ID, don't be worried. And here we'll use also friend underscore ID. Okay, great. So then the next step in Xcode, whenever we update the friendship request, let's say follow button is clicked, here we're updating the friendship request, it always sends the notification to update friends here. Which we actually do not require to do this only when we are following or unfollowing the user. So we'll put here one more conditional by writing if parse.json status equals 200 and the action which can be add which can be send a request, delete from the friends list, etc., etc. And we continue, and action is not equals to follow, and action is not equals to unfollow. Great. So now we are officially done with the following and unfollowing the users. So I'll build my application to make sure that everything works fine as it's supposed to be. And the follows, I got one list, which is Jennifer Lawrence. She's following Bradley Cooper. Okay, I'll show for the Bradley. That is the one. I stop following him and he's gone from the list. I start following him and Bradley is here. So that is really superb, and the animation, the way it works, is really beautiful. So we can start following other users, like for example Samuel Jackson and like Daniel Craig. So all of them in our follow list. So that is really superb, guys. This is how we can implement a follow feature. That is really something extraordinary, guys. So extremely amazing job. Well done. Superb. I'm really happy that we have achieved this. Great. So let's progress further.